Good day, good morning, and I pray that you are all fine. Welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us on this 15th day of September. It's a Thursday. It's a payday. And of course, some people tell me, Kuya Cito, the payday schedule that you are familiar with from decades ago, 1530, is no longer the standard because some companies pay 10, 20, or 30th of the month because the employees and their salaries don't make it from point to point. Kumbaga, some point, it used to be from January, or let's say September 1 to September 15, you were well able to make your money, fit. But nowadays, the salaries have to be spread out even more because the salaries just don't, with inflation, they just don't make it to the finish line. Anyway, as I said, it's a Thursday. I do hope you're all well, and thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV and viewers of One News, as well as, of course, Agenda here on Channel 8 and Channel 250. Thank you also for watching us on Facebook and YouTube. In case you're wondering, why does Cito always do that monologue, that repeat intro? Because it's not a monologue or a repeat intro. It's a sincere thank you. Because without you, the viewers, this show doesn't make any sense. Without people learning from the programs and our interviews, there's really no point to it, okay? We're not here to blabber away. We're here to help people learn more, educate them, entertain them less, okay? But anyway, hopefully today our first guest, will both educate us and also partially entertain us, because I think in their world, the term entertain is not taken seriously. It's an art form that entertains people, but at the end of the day, it is an art form. We will be talking about that. Okay, anyway, let's go on with the Daily Starter. And I picked this up again, of course, on social media, and it goes: stop writing other people's story and start living your own story. Okay? Many people keep writing about other people's story or telling the story of others and reliving the story of other people, but not living their own. Go out there, pursue your dream, write down your stories, and go after what you want, and stop comparing yourself to others, etc., etc. Let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star, September 15, 2022. The headline: Palace urged probe DPWH fund parking. I repeat, DPWH fund parking, or the budget, or many parts of the budget of the DPWH being parked by congressmen. Ito na po, Senator Cayetano, Alan Peter Cayetano, raised the yellow flag yesterday and said, wait a minute, gentlemen, we keep giving you money, and my sources tell me that a lot of this money are already pre-booked or are going to be parked, ipaparada po, okay? And will be debated upon or deliberated upon later. The scam is the funds for certain congressional districts. So ito po, para sa mga tiga-probinsya. there is money or funds allocated for infrastructure projects in your district, in your province, or in your hometown. And then what congressmen or members of Congress will do is cut it, slice it. According to Joel Villanueva, in one instance, it can be as low as 21% slice or 92% slice. So babawasan ng husto yung budget nyo. And then, when the representations are made to congressmen, that budget will be restored. But in exchange, it will be agreed upon by the local and the congressional powers that the companies that will undertake the construction or whatever of the projects will be the favored contractor by the mafia congressman. Okay, if you want to know more about that, read the front page of the Philippine Star. Now, at the top of the front page, we have rice allowance eyed in lieu of 20 peso price per kilo of rice. If you remember, President Bongbong Marcos made the campaign promise, I will bring down the price of rice to 20 pesos per kilo. At naniwala po sila. Okay, what's happened now is President Bongbong Marcos is saying, looks like it's not going to be easy. Reminds me of a president that once said that he will wipe out the drug problem in 3 months ba yun? Or 6 months. And 6 years later, we're still catching the drug dealers, but we haven't really caught the big fish. Okay, so as far as the rice allowance is concerned, what's happening is President Bongbong Marcos suggests that they simply give an allowance to government employees. Okay? Hindi po napapag-usapan dito yung milyong-milyong bumoto sa kanila. Okay? They're only talking about government employees getting an allowance for rice o kaya ika nga. But rice subsidies. But may we just suggest gayahin nyo na lang yung ginagawa dati ng mga kumpanya na nagbibigay ng isang sakong bigas kada empleyado. Whether it's every month, every 2 months, or every 3 months, that's up to your economic managers. But we should simply give rice, 1 sack of rice, per family of government employees to begin with, and then make sure that this rice were bought from local farmers and not imported by the cartel. Okay? So that's my 20 pesos worth of rice. Okay, Manila labeled as world's 8th most traffic congested city. Please, according to some website based in the United insurance technology website based in the United Kingdom. Okay, tell us what we don't already know. Okay, meanwhile, MMDA urges the public keep masks on outdoors. Yan po, yung mga nakapila na yan, nasasakay ng van or bus as the case may be, they are doing the smart thing, still keeping their masks on. In fact, I saw a post last night, by a doctor who's been in the ER of a big hospital, and he said, I have treated over 5,000 patients, and what has kept me from being COVID-free, according to the doctor, is, I believe, that fact that I do not take off my mask when I am around people. Ayun po. Okay. The photo in the middle of the Philippine Star is a photo of a relic of the quote, true cross, unquote, during its exposition for public veneration at the Manila Cathedral. Okay, so ayan po, no? And then the photo on the lower left of the Philippine Star, Are high school students bringing containers to class as part of the No Bag Day? Anyway, yan po ay TikTok challenge telling children or school children use another container instead of buying commercial bags. Totoo nga naman, ano? Kasi like in Japan, they all have the same school bag and it was kind of cute. So we looked at how much they cost. Sobrang mahal. Ito, yung dala-dala ng bata, paint bucket. May libreng advertising pa si Boysen. Yung isang bata nagdala ng container, plastic container. Another one bought a cooler box. So, yeah, it's interesting what these young people are coming up with. Okay, now, something of concern. Mukhang hindi naman daw tatama, pero you know, you may remember when you were young, if you're Filipino, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan wag magagalit. It was essentially, you know, someone would make a comment and address to no one in specific, no one in particular, but if it hit you, sorry na lang. But apparently, the news is, racket sa langit. Ang bagsakan, patay. Okay? Warning out on Chinese rocket debris. The Philippine Space Agency, or PhilSA, has issued another warning of falling debris from a rocket launched by China last Tuesday. Okay, in an advisory, the PhilSA said that while falling debris from the Long March 7A or CZ-7A rocket launch at 9:19 September 13, it was unlikely to fall on Philippine soil. Okay, so unlikely to fall on Philippine soil. Pero malas-malas mo na lang if you are out sa laot in open water between China and the Philippines, tamaan ka, bagsakan ka lang naman ng rocket. And I don't know if this stuff falls anywhere in Philippine territory. I do hope and I'm certain we will be launching a diplomatic protest because the last one, a few months or a month, 2 months ago, landed at the bottom part of Palawan, okay, in the water, but near Palawan, near Palawan, okay. And then the Commission on Appointments has confirmed Secretary Abalos and Secretary Remulla as Secretary of the DILG and the DOJ respectively. Pag-asa has advised the public tropical cyclone to enter Philippines tonight, pero hindi naman daw po makaka-apekto, so wag na nating pagkaabalahan. Interesting interesting news. South Korea finds Google and Meta, a company formerly known as Facebook, $71 million for personal information use. I have written about this from before, and I have encouraged the NTC and the national government to fine Google and Meta for this type of activities even in the Philippines. But it seems that aside from Australia, now it's South Korea fining Google and Meta for users' personal information, gathering users' personal information without consent for tailored ads, regulators said yesterday. Ito po, ibig po sabihin nito, depending on how you use Facebook or Google, nag-Google ka, nag-Google search ka regarding coconut oil, nag-Google search ka regarding a certain technology, before you know it, you start getting ads on social media and on your gadgets related to, ako, lagi ko nakukuha yung bullshit na solar lights na yan. I've stopped buying them, but I keep getting the ads, okay? And lately, I don't know if you like watching videos on YouTube and on Facebook, but there are now more ads on social media videos than there are on mainstream TV. On TV, it used to be every 17 minutes you had an ad. Now on Facebook, it's like every 3 minutes you have an ad. In fact, it was even it made me so angry the other day that while someone was delivering, I think it was a tribute or a eulogy or the announcement of the death of the Queen, came this advertisement for hot dogs. Parang, hello, placement na laang, pag-isipan naman ninyo. Okay, anyway, the last piece of news, that photo on the bottom of the Philippine Star, we have PLDT and its wireless subsidiary Smart Communications inaugurating the PLDT Smart Integrated Operations Center in Makati, a two-story cutting-edge facility that houses the group's network teams. Present during the inauguration were Chief of Customer Advisor Noel Lorenzana and Joaquim Horn, Mario Tamayo, Eric Santiago, and Debbie Hu. Okay, so that's it for today on the front page of the Philippine Star. For those of you who want to get more information, please pick up a copy of the Philippine Star. Go online if you can, buy a copy, and pick up the stories, because you will discover that there are a lot more information and news items inside the inside pages. Okay, let's now go to our interview. Okay, and like I said, our interview will be about art. Okay, I remember when I was, ilang taon ba ako noon? 15 or 16, if I'm not mistaken. Early 70s, when my mother told me, Luisito, yes, that's what they called me when I was a kid, put on your nice clothes, I'll bring you with me to watch Swan Lake. And I believe it was Margot Fontaine in the CCP. Okay, so let's introduce our first guest for today, and learn about ballet.
Kathleen Lichtenstein is the president of Ballet Philippines since 2018. Prior to this, she was the ballet company's board member and treasurer. Lichtenstein, or frequently called as Maymay, has been a longtime advocate of women's rights and the arts. She has headed various organizations, including the UN Fund for Women and UN Women Philippine National Committee.
Good morning, Ms. Lichtenstein, or is it Maymay?
Hi, Cito. Good morning. Yeah, of course, it's Maymay.
Okay, now thank you for joining us this morning. I have to tell you, this is eerie for me because about two dawns ago, I was like lying in bed, and I was just kind of remembering my time with my mom, because I was listening to some cello music, and please, I'm not trying to pass myself out as a artsy-fartsy guy, or such a cultured gentleman of sort. But there are markers in our relationships, and with my mother, it was always classical music that she would play, and then it brought me to that memory. Cultural Center, which, by the way, I think is celebrating, was it 53rd or 57th anniversary. And I remember watching for the first time when I went there, Swan Lake. Was it Margot Fontaine? Is my memory still together?
We've had all those people on stage, which we call the sacred stage of CCP. Yeah, we had them up.
Okay, now, back then, it was largely foreign. The talents were, you went to the CCP to watch this foreign talent. But thankfully and with pride, things have shifted. We now have homegrown talents, etc. Now, could you tell us about Ballet Philippines? Because you were on the board and you are now the president of Ballet Philippines, right?
Yes. Well, you were talking about having memories of your mother, and that kind of shaped your inkling and your love for the classical. And normally, a person does get into that to be able to have their journey into their passion. And for me, you were talking about how I got into the ballet. The first life-changing book I've ever read, I think I was 8 years old, was Ana Pavlova, The Dying Swan. And that really evolved me through then until now into the ballet. And so when I got invited by my aunt Tiveros, who was then the president of Ballet Philippines, to join the board of trustees, it was an organic thing na talagang, oh, okay, that's where I belong. And of course, I wanted to be able to be a part of the history of the Philippines and the dance scene, right? And it happened also to me as with you, Louis. Cito, look, I call it Louis, who was really a good friend of mine when I was in my 20s. So it's like talking to your dad again early in the morning. My goodness. Okay, so really life-changing events happened with me with Ballet Philippines. My first date with my husband happened at the Philippine Ballet Nutcracker Gala. And throughout the nurturing of my kids into culture and the creative arts with Ballet Philippines, and it also drove me to be much more inclined to the arts as the years went by, and being with the Ballet Philippines, as you've said, is a comfort zone actually for us artists in the dance, because of not only that you enjoy international artists, but you see the homegrown talent, and they become your superstars as well. You do have superstars of the ballet, which really was a big blessing in disguise. The COVID, when COVID happened, we was shifted immediately into the digital platform, and as home-based training for our dancers, it was a blessing in disguise that all these superstars of the ballet world, and I'm saying the London Royal Ballet, the ABT, the Bolshoi, and all these companies just warmly came to us and trained their dancers pro bono at that. And so those are heartwarming events of COVID. If you really,
but let's not get ahead of ourselves, my. Let's talk about you first, because people would assume, oh, Ballet Philippines, she must be a ballerina. Oh, Lichtenstein, she's probably married to some foreigner. And then you tell me that your first date with your husband was the Nutcracker Suite with the Philippine Ballet. I mean, Nutcracker Suite is usually a presentation during Christmas holidays, right?
Yes.
So that husband of yours is a smoothie, yeah? Smoothie, yeah? Times the first date on the Christmas holiday, takes you to a Nutcracker Suite presentation. Boy, you were doomed. You were finished.
And won me over. That was it. that was the ballet. Actually, I was hedging on dating him until he says, hey, I have good tickets for the Nutcracker next week. Would you like to come? Of course, it was easy. It's ballet. And that's it.
It was his style of saying, I'm very cultured. I'll take you to the ballet. I won't take you to the bar.
But Cito, would you believe it was his first time to be in the ballet? And only because he wanted to date me. And he knew that that's the only way to get to date me.
That's why I said he was a smoothie.
Okay, so those were the factors that's why I'm with Ballet Philippines. It has been a blessing in my life.
Yeah, but were you a? I mean, sorry. By this time, you will discover. Aside from Swan Lake, that was it. I didn't pick up anything about ballet after that. But how do you start out in ballet, and what are the terms you use for students? Because like in martial arts, they have white belt, yellow belt, brown belt, green belt, black belt. But in ballet, what are students called? I mean, like, are there terms and levels and degrees?
Of course, there will always be names and labels to the gradings of dancers. You start out, at a very early age. Most of the superstars, I always go back to the superstars. Those are the ones that are really shining brightly on the global world on stages of the best companies in the world, including Ballet Philippines, if I may say so.
Of course.
These people have trained since their childhood, their teenage years, and evolved, not just overnight. So they start. They probably would start at the age of 3, 4, 5, 6, and continue, become a scholar or apprentice, and then become a soloist and a principal dancer, and maybe you wouldn't know you'd become a prima ballerina. So those are really, and of course, everybody dreams of that. It needs a lot of pawis, dedication, and almost always a passion that is unmistakably known as a crazy. As a crazy. Crazy. It must be crazy.
It's like you don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps. Okay. Yes. Now, you watch a lot of this young kids, young adults go through the process, being students, and then joining companies, etc. How soon in the life of a person can you tell, okay, that one has got duck feet, that one has the makings of a principal artist or how do you call it? Prima ballerina?
Yes. You normally when you know about dancing, when your eye is focused on those very refined movements that you would love to see in a dancer, you know exactly what if they have talents or not at an early age. And of course, those people that have great potentials to become great dancers. And normally you pray, you pray that they will continue and they will have the ability and the strength of character to get into where they would like to be, because it really is a very hard work. It's almost a sacrifice of your life. And if you go through the history of the great ballerinas, it's always a sacrifice. There's always that element of sacrifice.
Okay, my from what little I know, I think the first barriers for women in ballet has always been about race. For the longest time, ballet was considered the white woman's domain. It was all about the thin person, etc. And then came this Afro-American dancers, primarily from, I think, from France or somewhere. And they would talk about the hell they went through. That even in America, in spite of the fact that they were superb dancers, the fact people would say, she's black. No, black women are too big, etc. What has it been like in the Philippines? What are the barriers in the Philippines for people, for women particularly, getting into ballet?
The main barrier of getting into dedicated ballet training is actually financials more than anything in the Philippines. We've been very, very open to, we're not gender based actually. And would you believe right now, we have more male dancers, and female dancers have always been trained into ballet, because although ballet really was started with male dancers, right in its history, as you would know, only male dancers.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was predominantly the kingdom of the women.
No, it was the first dancers were men actually, and they would have both genders to play their characters, and then it evolved, and the women came in, and you know, both are pleasant to the eyes in terms of the graces and the movements and the eloquence of dancing. So for me, there's no actually barriers personally for me. But yeah, you're correct. There would always be racial discrimination in all aspects of our lives. And that goes with anywhere. But I believe always that your talent would pull you through, and your determination to succeed.
Let's go for a quick break, Mai. And when we return, I'd like to focus on Ballet Philippines, because your group has done so much in promoting the art. And I want to find out what are the plans now that things are picking up. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us this morning, along with uh, uh, Kathleen. I'm having a problem making the connection here. Kathleen Mai Lichtenstein. Where does Lichtenstein come from? I mean, is it German, Belgian?
My husband actually is Jewish, so it's a Jewish name for
Oh,
him,
okay.
Lichtenstein.
Mhm.
And but we've been in the country, in the Philippines. We've been staying in the Philippines for as long as I can, I can remember.
Okay. Anyway, going back to our main topic, because agenda is not just about politics and issues. We want to promote culture and the arts because it is the soul of a nation. And unfortunately, in the Philippines, very few people have dedicated or devoted their life to the culture and arts, particularly dance. They always say, "Oh, it's just for the rich people." But what is the mission of Ballet Philippines?
The mission of Ballet Philippines is just very simple: to inspire, aspire, educate, entertain dancers, the audience as a whole. That just encompasses the whole mission of Ballet Philippines. So we inspire people
Mhm.
and our audience to like ballet, to love ballet. We aspire for them to be with ballet, to be a ballerina, for instance, to be a dancer, and to
Mhm.
educate. To educate means just simply to give them the opportunity to be able to learn more about what's ballet all about, what's the arts all about, and to entertain. That's basically what the dancers would love to do, because at the end of the day, they train to be able to entertain and to perform live in front of an audience.
Okay, it's an art form. It's about performance. It's about grace. It's about skill, etc. But how much has been done, or what has been achieved in terms of educating people? Because I know that certain lead thought leaders have said, let's popularize culture and the arts. Let's not require people to wear barong Tagalogs or suits when going to the cultural center, and let's make it more masa. And I'm like, it's an art form, okay? There are certain rules for certain art form. And I kind of wonder, why is ballet or dance not incorporated in the lessons in public school and in high school and elementary? I've never heard of ballet being discussed in classrooms.
Most of those, as you would say, your perception actually, Cito, they're really true. However, there would always be two sides in a coin, and there would always be people that would like only the modern way of dancing, modern way of putting things together, and there would always be classical inclined people. And the way to really just do it is to find the right alignment
Mhm.
with these people. And we have actually a program as early as the 3-year-old, 4-year-old. We've conceived of a program that we present to them what ballet is all about.
Mhm.
We make a little dance, and hopefully, through the years of their lives, they get to remember that there is ballet when they're 15 or 16. Look, there's twerking, there's ballet. Maybe I can also go and watch the CCP, the ballet, and not just twerk, you know.
Yeah.
So we're very realistic.
Well, you know, if you ever get to see Freddie Webb and some of his contemporaries in the Eco basketball team, you might want to ask him what it was like to take up ballet lessons. because I remember they were required to get an introduction to ballet by Manolo Elizalde. Was it Manolo Elizalde, I believe. I'm not sure about the first name. But they were asked to take introductory lessons for agility and dexterity. So obviously ballet is not just a dance per se, but it can be a therapy, it can be a process that improves people. But okay, so going back to Ballet Philippines, what are your programs? Because now people can go out. Are you going to have events, shows, and where are they going to be?
So right now, we're really super thrilled to be able to have our first ever live performance after 2 years of being locked down.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have our gala on September 17, on 18 at the CCP main theater. And we will be presenting a dance called Echoes with other ballet excerpts like Bolero, Carmen, Paquita, those very classical ones. Then Echoes is particularly interesting because it's a very relevant story on what's happening right now. It's about Echoes, as you know, it's about a horse, and it's really just a story about how you work the horse to its death.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes also like for a dancer, how they dance until they're almost collapsing, until their dying days.
Well, quite timely, my mind, because right now, one of the mental health topics is about burnout, which I openly admitted having gone through a month ago. And that's a very timely selection or choice of the dance. Now, you are going to talk about Echoes, Bolero. I come from the old school where, you just feature one particular piece, Swan Lake, or I can't remember, Nutcracker Suite, etc. But this one is a mix of several things.
Yeah, we call it the mixed bill, meaning to say a variety.
Okay.
So we have a variety of the first half, variety of dances, classical dances, and then at the second half we have a longer dance, which is the Echoes. So you're familiar with the full length. They call those things full length ballet. Those are ballets that runs for 2 hours or more or less an hour and 45 minutes or 2 hours, and some can even go further than that. So it really the difference with the classical excerpts is to the full length. It's just really the time. Normally in a full length, there are dancers. There are dancers that you can show off as by itself, or you can move it as a full choreography, or just take that the pas de deux, for instance, and dance it. So those are Cito, what you would always look into when you're watching, or when you want to watch a ballet. If it's a full-length ballet, it's always put there. It's a full-length ballet, or they would say it's a mixed bill.
Okay, well, for newbies or people just re-entering the arts, the performance arts, I suppose a mixed bill would be a correct program choice because it doesn't get too heavy and it's not too long. But this is not going to be the end all and be all of our discussion here, because I do hope Maymay will join us for another segment on Ballet Philippines, and we can talk more about dance next time, because unfortunately I only have an hour. Okay, thank you very much for your time, Mai. And so the return of Ballet Philippines to live performance will be at the CCP Main Theater, is it?
Yeah, the CCP main theater, and I please come, Cito, watch, be our guest. Would be very
Mhm.
honored to have you with us, and enjoy it. Enjoy the time. We'll have a gala and a cocktail celebration to
What
start.
time is it? It's actually tomorrow and on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
It's Saturday at 8 o'clock, and on a Sunday we have a matinee at 2 p.m. and at 7 p.m. And the Saturday is the one that is with a celebration, a little celebration at 6:30.
Okay.
For it, come, please join us.
Okay.
Look forward to having you
Yeah,
and your
thank you
family.
very much, Kathleen Lichtenstein, President Ballet Philippines, and congratulations for bringing ballet back to the center stage of the CCP. God bless you, Mai.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's Mai Lichtenstein of Ballet Philippines, and I hope that our viewers picked up a few important points about the terms they use, what goes into ballet, and if you want to watch their return to live performance, that's on Saturday, September 17. I misread the post. It's September 17 and 18, Saturday and Sunday at the main theater of the Cultural Center of the Philippines. Now, let's shift gears. Let's go to our next guest. And here's an intro video.
Joey Concepcion currently serves as the Jobs Sector Lead of the Private Sector Advisory Council. He is also the founder of the nonprofit organization Go Negosyo, which advocates for entrepreneurship among Filipinos. Concepcion was also presidential advisor for entrepreneurship under the Rodrigo Duterte administration.
Okay, good morning, Joey. Welcome back to the program.
Hi, Cito. Good morning. Long time no see.
Okay, now that you're no longer presidential advisor on entrepreneurship, do you have more time for yourself, my friend?
No, it's at the same level because being part of this advisory council, you have to spend a lot of time. In fact, you do have regular meetings. And you have members in your committee who are quite passionate, in really providing sound advice and ideas to this administration. And Go Negosyo has further accelerated, in fact.
Okay, now when the president recently announced that wearing of face masks will be optional outdoors, I kind of got miffed by the miscommunication that was happening because Trixie Angeles, the press secretary, said that it's optional outdoors and that they highly encourage senior citizens and people with comorbidities to wear the mask. But when certain officials of the DOH started speaking with the media, the message changed. They were now saying it's still require senior citizens and people with comorbidity must still wear mask or must wear mask. And I'm like, okay, I'm in communications. We got a problem here. Now, what about you? Apparently, you've also had a few comments regarding this topic. Please go ahead.
No, it's very simple. No, what was removed was basically the mandate and not the mask. So what we are giving people now is the choice to make the decision on how they would like to approach this COVID and what level of risk. If you look at the vaccines also, during Duterte's time, Secretary Maynard Guevara advised that mandating vaccination may be illegal. So that was also removed. So if you look at this, we've removed the mandate on vaccination, and this administration of President Marcos has removed the mandate on basically outdoor masking. No? So it's very clear. I don't know why the DOH seems to get confused with that order. And what we are giving the people is the choice. No? Now, of course, we strongly advise that the seniors and those immunocompromised, even outdoors, continue to wear the mask. But if they feel that they're fully vaccinated and they're willing to take the risk, we can't stop them. We can only advise them.
Okay, now, what other concerns have you had lately? Because you've been with the advisory group and things are picking up in terms of business, although most of the people I've been talking to are very concerned about a potential food crisis by December. What's your reading on our situation from now to December?
Well, if you look at the entire scenario that the Philippines and other countries are facing, this is all triggered by the Ukraine-Russian war. No? And it's, as we all predicted, in fact, I mentioned in my first meeting with the president, is forget the COVID. To me, that's over. What is going to be a bigger problem, unless we manage it, could be the rising prices and eventually rising interest rates. And why is that so? Because America is very aggressive in taming down the inflation. So you can see that even what they've done is to aggressively increase interest rates, and that we are following suit, but not at the level that they're increasing, which is causing a depreciation on our currency. But it's not only the Philippine peso that has lost value. It's every currency in the world that has lost value against the mighty dollar because of their aggressiveness in wanting to tame inflation, which is correct. And we don't want to see a runaway inflation. And, so that is the scenario. And how are we going to cope up with all of these manufacturers like us are not able to pass the prices, the increase in cost to the consumers? We're doing it gradually over a period of months so that we can soften the price increases. No? So that's, you still see business doing well. And that's one reason why I supported and in fact proposed way back earlier on that outdoor masks should be actually optional, because the tourism sector in this country has really been greatly affected with the pandemic. And our biggest asset here is our beautiful islands and beaches, which the foreigners love. But if you will see people wearing masks in these beaches and these resorts, who would really want to go to these resorts and islands when they will get scared? What's happening in this island? Is there COVID? So it is not a nice sight. And you want to see the Filipino faces. No? They're smiling faces. We're known for that. So we want to really make it more fun in the Philippines. So the reason, I think the biggest beneficial that will benefit from this optional use of outdoor face masks is basically tourism, which many of our micro, small, and medium enterprises are in that entire ecosystem.
But there's a cog or there's a connecting piece that's crucial to all of this, which is mobility, travel. And if you reverse engineer the process from islands to airports, you'll discover that we have a problem because the cost of travel is so expensive, because flights are limited, because our airports are unable to launch or land aircrafts fast enough because the technology is so backward. Now, you've been in the forefront pushing for stuff during COVID. You created or helped create that advisory council. Are you guys going to do something in terms of dealing with mobility? Because no one seems to be pushing that particular engine regarding our, air traffic controllers, our ability to land planes faster, because all over the world, planes can land every 2 minutes. But in the Philippines, they have to distance themselves 8 kilometers apart. And I've spoken to airport authorities and experts, and they said, Cito, we don't have good quality air traffic management. And that is the reason why we can't open more slots at the NAIA and other airports. And that's why the prices are as high as they are. Are you going to do anything about that?
Well, I've been traveling a lot, but out of the Philippines, no, not domestically. So I'm not well versed on what's happening domestically. But all over, leaving Manila, arriving Manila has been no problem for me. I mean, the airports, of course, are full. There are more people traveling. The cost of traveling has gone up because fuel prices have gone up. And of course, the demand has gone up. So airlines have raised their rates. Remember, Philippine Airlines and many other airlines have lost so much money. So this is a chance to recover. So it's normal for costs to really go up.
Yeah.
But with regards to the technology that is an issue, I'll check on that and see what is really happening there. But for international flights leaving and arriving, I have never encountered any issue.
Would
on
you
delays.
suggest that the tourism sector come up with their own body like you have? You came up with your advisory council. You were the guy who was pushing for a lot of things during COVID. And would you encourage other sectors to do to follow your example?
No, the private sector advisory council. I am the lead for jobs, and they just created another private sector for tourism, which is very good. And I think that's what we really need now, because we really need to bring our foreign tourists into the Philippines. That generates a lot of jobs as well. No? So my goal is really to try to generate as much jobs as possible. And that is basically our MSMEs contribute 62% of job generation. That's a huge number. So that's why my focus is really in MSME development and scaling them up. No?
Okay, now we're down to our last 3 minutes, Joey, but I'd like to give you all the what's left of the time to issue any statement you want to do regarding the MSMEs.
Well, Cito, last August 26, President Marcos attended the MSME Summit. No? That was his first private sector event. It was a statement that and we were very pleased about it, because it really showed that he is fulfilling his campaign promise and really helping our MSMEs. And so the priority is helping this sector. We're trying to make the Philippine economy more inclusive. Yes, there are going to be headwinds, Cito, that's very clear. I mean, a very strong dollar can hurt us. But of course, it will also benefit our OFWs. They'll be able to get more money in pesos to help their families start a business maybe here.
Yeah.
So,
what area or product would be a safe bet, or do you think is still green for entrepreneurs?
Well, when we talk of MSMEs, now basically these are small businesses that you see, sari-sari stores, carinderias, etc. No, we're trying to scale them up. But digitalization is the new area that I believe is going to not only benefit the younger entrepreneurs who are well-skilled and well-talented in this space, but it also will enable many of our MSMEs to be able to be part of the economy, because the debit card, or which is now transformed to Maya, Pay Maya, and GCash, is actually what was the missing link. America had credit cards. Filipinos could not get credit cards, but now they have a digital wallet, which is very important.
What about all of this leaked information, personal information accounts? Are you sitting down with the NTC and these digital wallet companies? Because I've been getting a lot of feedback that these leaks may have come from those digital wallet or groups.
I'm not well versed there. There is an advisory council for digital as well, and I can relate to them. But there are always this risk involved, and the idea is, as people go along, we try to make sure that these risks are mitigated. But the benefit of the e-wallets are tremendous. It has actually changed the landscape on selling. In fact, today people do live selling in Facebook. You've got TikTok. You've got many others out there who are really developing platforms that micro entrepreneurs are able to access the market, which was never there before, because you have to go through the basic infrastructure, shopping centers, supermarkets, department stores, which these people will have a more difficult time because they're just too small. So we're now teaching them on how not only to place their product, but how to market their product, how to sell their product, how to use, and they basically can become the influencers. So in the entire media world, advertising really has changed. I mean, more and more people are hiring influencers today than endorsers.
Yeah, apparently, chances of me getting a job now depends on the number of followers I have, which I don't.
That's right.
Yeah, anyway, Joey, we're gonna have to go, but I do hope we can do a Go Negosyo feature here on the agenda, because we really have to shift the focus towards job generation, income generation, etc. But thank you for your time today and clarifying certain issues, and we hope you all the best, Joey.
Thank you, Cito.
Okay, that's Mr. Joey Concepcion, founder of Go Negosyo. And I now go to Haggai, the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verse 8 and 9, for our blessing for the week. And the Lord says, "The silver is mine and the gold is mine, declares the Lord Almighty. The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house, says the Lord Almighty. And in this place I will grant peace, declares the Almighty." I just pray to God that that declaration will also apply to our government, our leaders, and our country in this generation. God bless all of you. Have a good day. Please keep it here on One News.